If your task list feels like a chaotic mix of reminders, sticky notes, and flagged emails, and you're not sure how to get it all under control, this video is for you. I'll walk you through powerful Microsoft To Do features that most professionals either overlook or never fully use. These aren't just tips to check more boxes, they are practical ways to bring clarity, focus, and real momentum to your day so you can get things done faster with far less mental clutter. If we haven't met yet, I'm Lea. I've spent over 15 years working with Microsoft 365 tools, and through my YouTube tutorials viewed by millions, I've helped countless professionals simplify their workflows and take back control of their time. And the strategies I'll show you in this video are the exact ones I rely on every day to manage my projects, content, and client work, all without losing track of anything. So let's get started. When your to-do list starts expanding across multiple projects, clients, or departments, it becomes harder to spot connections between tasks. You might miss something, not because you didn't write it down, but because it's buried in the wrong list or hidden in plain sight. That's exactly the situation I found myself in, until I discovered a simple workaround: using hashtags. Microsoft To Do doesn't support traditional tags in the desktop app, but you can mimic that functionality by adding hashtags directly into the task title or the notes field. For example, writing hashtag marketing or hashtag Q3 report makes that task searchable later. Just use the search bar at the top of the app, type in the hashtag, and To Do will surface every task that includes it, no matter which list it belongs to. The next tip helps you stream your entire task management workflow. So if you're anything like me, your inbox often doubles as your to-do list. But I believe the problem with using email to manage tasks is that it's unreliable. Things get buried, overlooked, or pushed down by newer messages. And even flagging an email alone won't move the needle if you're not actively using those flags to plan and follow through. They'll just become digital clutter. That's where Microsoft To Do's integration with Outlook becomes a real game changer. Instead of copying information from your inbox or manually retyping tasks, you can simply flag an email in Outlook. Just right-click on the message and select Flag. If you want, you can directly choose a due date, add a reminder, but that's optional for now. The great thing is that behind the scenes, Microsoft To Do picks the flag up automatically and adds it to a dedicated smart list called Flagged Emails. You can access it by opening To Do, head to the left-hand sidebar and click on Flagged Email. You'll see all your flagged messages listed as tasks. And from there, you can treat them just like any other task. Set or adjust due dates, add steps, move them into a project list, or even assign them if the list is shared. And the best part is that it syncs both ways with Outlook. So if you update the task in To Do, whether you change the due date, add details, or mark it as complete, it automatically reflects those changes in Outlook as well. Now, if you want to go even deeper and learn how to truly integrate Microsoft To Do with tools like Outlook, OneNote, Planner, Teams, and Loop, you'll find a link below to my Microsoft 365 Productivity Masterclass. It's designed to help professionals like you turn scattered tasks into a streamlined system so you can save time, reduce stress, and actually finish what matters most. Let's continue with another seamless integration. Think back to the last time you took detailed notes during a meeting, only to realize days later that nothing actually came of them. In the rush of daily work, it's surprisingly easy for important actions to get lost in your notes and never make it onto your task list. And that's where OneNote's task integration comes in. It bridges the gap between where you capture information and where you act on it. Here's how it works. When you're using the desktop version of OneNote, go to the line of text that contains your action item. And then in the ribbon at the top, click on the Home tab and look for the Outlook Tasks button. When you click it, you'll get options like today, tomorrow, or next week. Choose the one that fits and apply that flag to the line item. The moment you do that, OneNote turns that line into a task, and because Microsoft To Do syncs seamlessly with Outlook, the task shows up automatically in your to-do list. You'll find it under Tasks, or depending on the due date or priority, it may also appear in your smart lists like Planned or Important. What makes this especially useful is that the task includes a clickable link back to the exact OneNote page where it was created. I use this all the time during meetings if something requires follow-up. I flag it right there in OneNote and know it'll be waiting for me in To Do, ready to schedule, complete, or assign. I'm curious if you knew about this next tip. If yes or not, let me know down in the comments. So I believe we've all experienced the mess of trying to coordinate tasks over email or chat. You delegate something, but it gets buried in the conversation. A few days later, you're wondering, did they actually do it? Or worse, you both thought the other person was handling it. And that's where Microsoft To Do's list sharing and task assignment features can make a huge difference. In fact, To Do is not only a great tool for managing your own tasks, but it also works perfectly well for small teams and simple setups. It eliminates the confusion and creates shared visibility so everyone knows exactly what needs to happen and who's responsible for what. Here's how to use it. First, open the list you want to share. In the top right corner, click the Share icon, the one that looks like a person with a plus sign. Then a pop-up will appear where you can either choose to copy link or invite people by typing the people's name in the bar on top. You can share the copied link via email, Teams, or even WhatsApp, or invite them directly via email by typing the other's email address in the text field. Once they accept, you all have access to the same list. Now open any task within that task list and you'll see the Assign To option in the right panel. Just select their name from the pop-up and their initials will appear next to the task, making ownership clear at one glance. And for full transparency, both of you will receive real-time updates whenever a task is edited, or marked complete. Sharing task lists and responsibilities is incredibly helpful, but getting notified about every single update can quickly become overwhelming. I remember reaching a point where constant alerts about completed tasks started to frustrate me. These weren't even tasks I needed to act on. They were just part of a shared list I was contributing to. So I looked for a fix and found it. You can manage your notifications so that even if you're part of a shared list, you don't have to be bombarded by every update. To adjust this, open Microsoft To Do and click on your profile picture or initials in the top left corner to access the settings. Then scroll down to the Notifications section and toggle off the option labeled Shared List Activity. Once disabled, you'll stop receiving notifications for updates across all shared lists. Unfortunately, there's no way to manage notifications for individual lists separately, but I still find it worth it. I'd much rather check in manually on specific tasks than get distracted by constant pings I don't need. Speaking about lists, as your work grows, so does your list of, lists. One for each project, client, or area of life. At some point, your to-do sidebar starts to feel like a second inbox, long, maybe disorganized and overwhelming to even look at. That's exactly what happened to me. I had lists for content planning, admin, tasks, errand, internal workflows, you name it. And while each list served a different purpose, together they became visual clutter. The solution? Folders, and one more tip I'll share in a minute. In Microsoft To Do, you can group related lists into folders to bring structure and breathing room back to your workspace. Just go to your left-hand sidebar, right-click anywhere below your existing lists and select Create New Group. Or click the folder and plus icon in the bottom right corner of your sidebar. Give your group a clear name like Work, Personal, Clients, or Team Projects. Then simply drag and drop your related lists into that group. Once your lists are grouped, you can easily collapse or expand each group to keep your sidebar clean and focused. And to take it One step further, you can also color code your lists. For example, you might assign the same color to all your client lists or use different colors to visually separate personal and professional tasks. To change the color of the list, just open the list, click the three-dot menu in the top right corner and select a theme. This next tip is something I figured out on my own, and it's helped me more times than I can count. You might also have certain tasks or processes you do regularly, like onboarding a new client, publishing a piece of content, or prepping for meetings. And if you find yourself creating the same checklist over and over again, you're wasting time and mental energy on something that could be automated. That's where templates come in. While Microsoft To Do doesn't have a dedicated template feature, there's a simple workaround. You can create your own reusable task list and duplicate them wherever and whenever needed. First, create a list that includes all the tasks or steps you want to reuse. For example, I have a content creation and publishing list with every step from drafting to editing to scheduling. Once your list is ready, click on it in the sidebar and select Duplicate List. This creates an exact copy, including all tasks and subtasks, without affecting the original. You can rename the new list and start working from it immediately. It's also helpful to keep your template lists in a separate folder labeled templates so they don't clutter your active workspace. Now, with a growing list, sometimes everything on your list feels urgent and it's hard to know where to start. You might find yourself jumping between tasks or defaulting to what's easiest, not what's actually most important. I've definitely been there, especially during busy times. And that's why I always use the importance flag in Microsoft To Do. It helps me stay focused on what truly matters. It might seem basic, but let me tell you why it's not. When you're looking at a task, right-click on it and choose Mark as Important, or click the little star icon on the right of the task such that it becomes filled out. Now, there are two main ways to work with your important tasks. First, bring those important items to the top of your list by clicking on the three-dot menu in the upper right corner of your list and choose Sort by Importance. You can also use the Important Smart List in your sidebar, which automatically gathers all tasks you've flagged as important. And if you're thinking it's a limitation that Microsoft To Do doesn't let you rank tasks as high, medium, or low, honestly, I see that as a strength. In most cases, when you're staring at a list trying to decide between medium or high, you either overthink it or end up marking everything as high priority. But that defeats the purpose. By giving you a simple yes or no option, important or not, you're forced to be more intentional. You only flag what truly matters, and that helps you focus and will actually move the needle. If you've ever found yourself manually sorting tasks or hunting for what's due soon, you're going to love this next tip. Microsoft To Do includes smart lists, automatically generated views that help you stay on top of your priorities without needing to organize everything yourself. These smart lists are built into the app and pool tasks based on specific criteria like due dates, flags, or recent activities. The most prominent ones are My Day, Important, Planned, Assigned to Me, Flagged Email, and Tasks. You can see all of them in your sidebar on the left. Now let me tell you how they work before sharing which other hidden smart lists there are. My Day shows only the tasks you've intentionally added to your daily focus list. It resets every day, giving you a clean slate to work from. By default, To Do shows all your tasks due today in My Day. If you don't like this, you can change this by going to the settings via initials and unselect Show Due Today tasks in My Day. Important gathers all tasks you've flagged so you can focus on what really matters. Planned includes all tasks with due dates grouped by day, so you can easily see what's coming up. Assigned to Me pulls in tasks that others have delegated to you through shared lists. Flagged emails show all emails that you have flagged as a task in Outlook. And Tasks is essentially your catch-all list, tasks that aren't in a specific custom list. To make sure these views are visible and unlock the hidden smart lists, click on your profile icon in the top left corner or your initials, go to Settings and scroll to the Smart List section. There you can toggle on or off any smart list you want to show or hide in the sidebar. And as promised, there you'll find completed and all 2 additional smart lists that you might want to enable as well. Now, before we move on to the next tip, if you're finding these helpful and want to get even further with Microsoft To Do and the rest of your Microsoft 365 tools, consider signing up for my newsletter. There's a link in the description below. You'll get weekly productivity tips plus free access to a 7-day mini masterclass where I show you some of my favorite productivity tips for Outlook, OneNote, To Do, Teams, Planner, and Loop. Now that you know all of the smart lists, let's dive deeper. I believe one of the biggest reasons to-do lists become overwhelming is because they show you everything all at once. Tasks for tomorrow, next week, and even things you're not ready to think about yet all compete for your attention. And that makes it really hard to focus on what actually matters and needs to get done today. That's where My Day comes in, and it's one of my favorite tools in Microsoft To Do. Unlike a traditional list, My Day is a temporary view. It resets every morning, giving you a clean slate and a chance to be intentional about what you want to tackle today. Here's how it works. By default, My Day shows all tasks due today. However, I've turned this off via the settings, as we have just covered. So I can deliberately move tasks into My Day every day. Just open the Smart List in the sidebar, and then to start building your day's list by reviewing the suggestions on the right-hand side. Alternatively, you can select any task, right-click and add to My Day or via the Task Details pane. And the best part is that tasks don't get deleted when My Day resets. They just go back to their original list. That means nothing gets lost, but you still get a fresh start every morning. Now, when adding a task, sometimes it's a lot more than just a line item. It comes with reference material, a brief review, a spreadsheet to update, or meeting notes to keep in mind. The problem is if that supporting info is stored somewhere else, your desktop, your inbox, or your SharePoint, it's easy to lose track of it right when you need it. That's why I always attach key files and notes directly to the task itself. In Microsoft To Do, this is super easy. Just open a task and you'll see an Add File button near the bottom. Click it, choose a file from your computer, and it'll be attached right to the task. You'll also notice a Notes field in every task. This is where I drop meeting links, context, bullet points, or anything I'll need when I actually sit down and complete the task. It supports multiple lines, so you can be as detailed or as brief as you would like to. This might sound super basic, but trust me, adding more details, information, or background material is always better than less. Now, with all these tips, you're well on your way to becoming a Microsoft To Do power user. But are you sure you really mastered the basics? There's actually more to the fundamentals that most people realize. So watch this video next, where I'll walk you through all the core features step by step, so you are on top of all the features of To Do.